In today's video, we're going to show you how we remove this earwax from our patient's ear canal in clinic. Hi everyone, my name is Rhys Barber. I'm the audiologist here at Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching our earwax removal video today. We've got a bit of a tough one today. This particular patient's come in feeling very, very blocked up. Now we're seeing lots of these very sticky type waxes at the moment. Now we've just been through a bit of a heat wave here in the UK, and I think a lot of this wax is earwax, a bit like candle wax. The warmer it gets, the sort of slightly softer and stickier it gets, and that's what we're seeing in a lot of our patients at the moment. Now you can see with this first ear canal, this wax is very, very sticky. It's stuck itself all the way around the ear canal walls and is all bound together really tightly. So what I'm doing here is just breaking this first section down. Now I think we got a little bit of dry skin mixed in with this as well, which is just complicating things just a little bit further. So I've got hold of this outer section. Let's start to draw this down. We've got a grip on a nice piece of this wax here. So let's start to slowly pull this out. There we go. We've got a good chunky bit. So this is quite consistent with the wax all the way through this removal. You have this very sticky wax and then these sort of slightly harder lumps right in the middle. So you try to remove a lot of the sticky wax first, and then you'll get hold of one of the bigger pieces and then that will start to come away. We've also got a little bit, like I said, of dry skin mixed in with it as well. So I think this section we're just pulling out here, this is a little bit of dry skin. So let's just tease this away. Now, the reason it's slowing down as much as it is here, basically when we're trying to remove this wax, what's happening is it's just fighting against this. It wants to hold into that ear canal. So we've got to be really careful when we pull these out. There we go, out that comes. You can see it stretching away behind there, this long strip of skin coming away. Look at that coming out. So that was embedded right in the center of this wax here. So let's take a look behind that. There we are, we can see that bigger chunk of harder wax sitting further in. You can see a little gap underneath now. That's where that long strip of skin's just come away from underneath this wax. So we're just slowly chipping away at this. You can see the skin coming off that left-hand side, just folding over in front of this wax plug we're trying to get hold of here. There we are, we've got hold of that little front end of the wax plug. Let's give this a little bit of a wiggle. At the moment, when we're trying to wiggle this wax out, what we're trying to do is detach it from all the canal walls. Now, unfortunately, what's happening here, because it's so sticky, it's sticking to the canal wall. So as we're trying to wiggle this out, it's really not giving much away from the canal wall. So what we're doing is just breaking and stretching and breaking these little pieces off at the front. Now you can see a much deeper, darker looking plug in here. Now this plug's probably been in here a little while. This is also very, very sticky. It's also stuck a lot of the wax here to the actual roof of the ear canal as well. And you can see that piece that's just going down the left-hand side. Now we've been working on that just for a few goes now, and you can see it's still attached there. That's all we're doing is breaking the front end off it. Now we're trying to get to this very, very dark piece at the back end here. I'm pulling down because it's attached to the roof of the canal. We're just pulling down on this wax, trying to detach it there as best we can. That section to the left, look, it's still stretching off that ear canal. You can see just how sticky this is. This is almost like pulling toffee. You know, you see these people making like boiled sweets and things like that, and they're kind of pulling and pulling at this stuff. That's exactly what this wax, the consistency of this wax is like. A little bit of dry skin just shot into the suction tube there. Now, unfortunately, this wax is a little bit older, but it's not hard. This is a very, very thick clay type wax. So we've gone from this very sticky, almost toffee-like earwax at the front end to this very thick clay type earwax at the back end. Now, if you're going to get this clay type earwax, this is the worst place to remove it from because it's so deep and it tends to stick everywhere. Now, if you're really, really unlucky, this will actually be stuck to the eardrum as well. But you can see that wiggle technique here is just not working very well. We're trying to wiggle it back and forth just to try and free it up from that canal wall. But what we're doing effectively is moving the front end, the surface wax of this plug, and moving it from side to side. It's not really getting that full wiggle we want on the plug that'll detach it from the canal walls all the way down. Now we can just see this top section here. It's starting to move just a little bit more now. with every movement we do, we're pulling a little bit more across, but what's happening then is as we're sort of detaching, in this case, you know, from the top right corner, we're detaching it here, and then it's just moving and then re-sticking then to that bottom left corner. There we are. Now we're starting to get a little bit of movement. Can you see it just starting to come forwards? Now we've managed to detach enough of the one side that we're getting a little bit of movement. Now we might be able to walk this wax down the ear canal now. Let's give it another little bit of dead skin there. Looks quite promising. The only time we're going to come unstuck here, pardon the pun, is if we hit a much narrower part of the ear canal. If we do hit that, then this wax is naturally going to want to bind and stick to that particular part of the ear canal. But so far, so good. It's moving forwards. It's slow progress, but it is progress. So I've put a bit of olive oil in now, because what I don't want to do is get this re-stuck anywhere. Let's start pulling this down the canal. Let's have a little look here. I think we've hit a narrow part of the canal. I think this is already bound here. Although we've put the olive oil in, oh, I don't know, we've got a little bit of movement. If I can just get it onto this oiled section at the front, this is going to slide a heck of a lot easier. Can we just pull this forwards though? It's really starting to bind. I don't think we're going to be able to pull this onto this oiled section here. You can see I'm really struggling. I'm holding on to this wax and it's moving. The whole plug now is moving, which is great. But I think what we've got is maybe a slightly wider section to the back of the plug. So imagine a little sort of mushroom, not quite a mushroom, but just a sort of flared shape to the back end. So as we're pulling this slightly narrower front end, this slightly wider back end of the wax here is really kind of gripping the canal walls. You can see I am wiggling my socks off there to try and get this out. Oh, it's really, really not budging. Let's put the Jobson horn in here. If this is just the front end of the wax, we should be able to get the Jobson horn in this and pull this forwards if it's just the front end that's sticking. So I'm into that wax, that thick clay type wax, and we can see it's very thick at the back end. I'm trying to push the Jobson horn through, and what's happening there is as it's hitting that slightly thicker section, it's pushing that plug back, and that's the last thing we want. So let's just squash the front end down. That gets it out of our view, and then we'll try and sneak, if we can, above this much thicker, harder section that's sitting at the back of this plug. I think we've got it there. I think we've got just, no, I think we might just break the front end off here. We just managed to get a grip on that clay section, that really thick clay section at the back, and it just dropped through, unfortunately. There we go. Let's get rid of that front section. There's one less piece of wax we need to worry about. And it also improves our view a little bit. It means that we can get a better view, so we can get the Jobson horn just above. There we go. Did you see that whole piece of wax just turn then? So we've managed to, because we've broken the front end off a little bit thinner, we were able to turn it, twist it in the ear canal. There we are. Jobson horn behind that as well. Sorry, Siri chirping it at the same time there, guys. And you can see it's just starting to come out. There we go. Now that plug is moving. Look at that coming away. That is a thick, thick, sticky plug of wax, that one. There we go. Let's take a look behind that then. What does it look like behind there? Oh, thank goodness it didn't stick to the eardrum, but you can see it's really done a good job. We've cleared that ear canal there. It looks lovely and healthy. Eardrum looking so much better there as well. So you can see this is what it looked like to start with. It was just everywhere and completely blocking that ear canal. There was no gaps around it. This is what it looks like afterwards. So patient hearing so much better. So we've got 4 centimeters or 1 inch and 5/8 there, guys. You can see some of the thicker, darker plugs, and then you've got this more sort of chestnutty conga color then for the sort of slightly lighter, that's the slightly thinner bits of plug that we took away as well. And then that piece at the top of the screen, you can see there's that long strip of skin we took away. Oh guys, that was a battle. So as always, guys, I'm glad you enjoyed that video as much as I did. If you did enjoy the video, give us a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel, guys. We'd love to have you just as a subscriber. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you for the next video. Bye, everyone.